All right, right here on the front page, and I'm sure you're going to carry it, the other newspapers are going to be carrying it as well. It says 6-year ban for convicted netas is inadequate. This is what the Amicus has told the Supreme Court. Government employees get dismissed after conviction. Even a class 4 employee would be terminated from service once convicted for an offence involving moral turpitude, not to speak of class 1, 2 and 3 employees. CVC, NHRC and other such bodies bar convicted individuals from becoming members or chairpersons. The law, section 8 subclause 3 of the RP Act, has put convicted politicians on a different footing. Now, this is what the centre said in 2020, and it's important that we note this as well. Nancy, take a look at this. The centre said in 2020 that there are no specific service conditions laid down in respect of elected representatives, even though members of parliament and members of legislative assemblies are public servants. Their conduct is bound by propriety and good conscience, and they are expected to generally work in the interest of the nation. There is no justification for the challenge to the constitutional validity of section 8 subclause 3 of the Representation of People's Act. What is it that you are picking up? A little understanding that needs to happen here.
And I think it's important that finally somebody is bringing that issue up, because you know, the battle between how, you know, the rules are different for, you know, because we have some special citizen in our country, which is politicians and civil servants. All of them, both of them working for the central government or the state government, because they are government employees. They are not, you know, you cannot have, there is an act as well that you cannot convict a politician over any FIR that has been lodged against them. They are protected in, you know, in several cases, but it's not the same case with the civil servants. So, you know, whenever something happens, whenever scam is there, when any corruption case is there, so you convict both of them. But the politician, because there is already a bill that exists that politicians cannot be convicted, and then, you know, the trial that will go against them is not going to, because, you know, politician is a public figure. You know, people can stage complaints against them, people can create cases against them. So the court, you know, gives exemptions to politicians that, you know, if you are a politician, there is not going to be a trial for you. You're going to get suspended only for, you know, a shorter period of time or something like that, or you might get disqualified. But when it comes to civil servants, there is nothing like that.
They get terminated.
They
so
get terminated.
It's a question of disparity. It's a question of equality, ladies and gentlemen, basically. Now, this is what the premise of the case actually is. Days after the Supreme Court agreed to take up the issue of convicted politicians' eligibility to contest elections, Amicus curiae Vijay Hansaria on Thursday told the Supreme Court that while government employees got dismissed on being convicted, a similarly placed politician only got disqualified for 6 years. Highlighting the disparity, the senior advocate who is assisting the Supreme Court in the matter relating to fast tracking of trials in criminal cases against sitting and former members of parliament and MLAs said that as per service rules applicable to central government and state government employees, a person convicted for any offence involving moral turpitude is liable to be dismissed from service. Even a class 4 employee would be terminated from service once convicted for an offence involving moral turpitude, not to speak of class 1, 2 and 3 employees and persons holding any office under the All India Services Act 1951 and the rules framed thereunder. The Amicus reeled off a list of statutory authorities, including the Central Vigilance Commissions, the NHRC and other such bodies which bar individuals convicted of offences. Well, involving moral turpitude and the disparity of how civil servants get terminated, but a sitting politician or, you know, a neta will get you know, disqualified only for 6 years, and there's a disparity over here. That this is what the Amicus curiae has told the Supreme Court, Nancy.
And I think it's important development, because you know, finally we are raising the disparity, because I feel like whenever I think a corruption case is there, you know, whenever the, you know, if you know, a civil servant or a neta is involved, I wouldn't say that, you know, netas or the politicians are the ones to blame the most, but I think they have that resources, they have the resources way more, they are exploiting the resources way more than a civil servant could do, because their you know, their circle, where they can reach out is obviously going to be way more strong or way more vigilant than that of the civil servants. So I feel like this disparity has to be addressed, because politicians, whether politician or not, a civil servant or not, if they have done something wrong, if they are being convicted in a corruption case or any kind of scam case, there needs to be some actions
No, you're
taken
absolutely
against
right.
them. So 6 years ban and being terminated for your whole life, I think this disparity needs to be
No,
addressed.
even if it's a suspension, I mean, at least you stop getting your pay, and people start noticing in a government employee and a neta, the kind of sway they hold is absolutely different from what a neta has or a government employee does.
I mean, definitely, we have been reading cases of, how there is, some special, if you see a politician who is getting convicted, we get it that, there is acts protecting them about if they do something wrong, if they are convicted wrongfully in a case. There needs to be some kind of exemption, because they have to, we have to get them accountable for whatever they have done or not. And civil servants, if they come out and they are being terminated, they are out of job, and it's a serious offense against them that they are being convicted as civil servants. So I feel like, that finally it's good that, in a democracy we are talking about equality, we are raising the concern about disparity. I think that is something very important, and we need to address it as soon as we can.